without further ado, we are. Okay, that's last week's video. No, somebody made it just left a comment, and I thought that was this week's. Okay. Without further ado, we're gonna get into our first guest, who is. Um, I'm looking for which. Oh, here we go. Who is New Rochelle candidate for City Council, Yadira Ramos Herbert. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I first heard about you when I got a press release from a friend of the show, New Rochelle councilperson Jared Rice, who let me know that he was not running for re-election. I don't know if it's been announced. I think the word is that he may be up for judgeship for his mother's judge position. I don't know. I have not confirmed that, but that's what the rumbling has been. I guess she may be stepping down or whatever soon. If that's the case, I wish him well. But he's definitely, I do know, not running for re-election. Many of you have. He's been on the show several times, and he's been, I've always hit him up for a comment every time something happens in New Rochelle. So he always gives us comments. So then he let me know that this young lady in the studio was running to succeed, to running for the seat that he is not running for. So we decided to invite her to the show. Okay.
Welcome.
There you go. I did not have your mic on. Now your mic is on.
Okay, so I appreciate it and thank you both so much.
Okay, and as far as I'm trying to figure things out real quick. So we're not on Facebook. Anybody you can leave your anybody that wants to check out the show, they can go to inthemixradio.com. It has two X's. Inthemixradio.com to check out the show. I do not know why it's not on Facebook.
Do you want me to go? What's her name?
Yes, she's going to tell me it's the reason why she told me, and I turned it on when she told me to turn it on. But I didn't do that. So anyway, what made you decide to run for? Now you are. I think I did a story on you a year or so ago about library trustee.
Yes, yep. I'm an elected member of the Board of Trustees for New Rochelle Library.
So when you won that election, I did an article on you
Yep.
on the website.
Yes.
That's the first time I heard your name.
Yep.
So what made you decide to run for city council now?
So around the same time that
Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Around the same time I was elected for library board, I started working with Jared on improving infrastructure and a park on the corner of my block. Our neighborhood is majority African American, and I would argue our park was probably the one in the poorest condition of all of New Rochelle. And I felt like that was a terrible message to send to our kids.
Yeah.
To sort of go to another part of town that has a bit more money and bigger houses. And
Oh
see that the
God,
parks,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
And what message were we sending our kids?
Yes.
And
And
having
good for
this
you
park.
for speaking about it.
Thank
Good
you.
for you.
I didn't want my kids to sort of walk down the block and be like, why is there half a swing and half a slide and dirt? And, less than a mile
you should
away,
be coming
there's
into
two huge parks.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood
Okay.
also has more apartment buildings, multifamily houses. With,
Right.
and we don't have
Exactly,
big
yeah.
yards. We need the outdoor space.
Yeah.
And so I started poking at Jared around those issues and started attending meetings and just advocating for better parks, for safer intersections, for cleaner intersections. Again, majority minority district, and feeling like of all the districts in New Rochelle, we were sort of left, I don't know, just not getting the attention that I thought we should get.
Yeah.
And it coincided with the library board. So this is all about spring 2016. And Jared asked me to help participate in a cleanup effort for the community, which was excited. We brought in 150 volunteers, which I thought was great because it brought eyes to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right? The connection, how awesome and how much love was in the neighborhood. And we deserved as much attention. And then he asked me to sit on a task force to identify areas we'd like to improve, and we made a pitch for a $10 million grant that we got as a result of that task force.
Oh,
Which is
congratulations. That's amazing.
It is
Yeah.
amazing. It's the governor sets out this challenge throughout the New York State, and for our region, we were the city to get it, and it's going to help. And so I sat on the planning commission for that. So I got to work
Okay.
with folks in city, county, state level government to figure out how to identify the projects that we wanted funded. And so through that, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Just seeing the goals that we had, like an opportunity to pay for the improvement and to enhance the neighborhood. We're less than a mile away from the downtown development. New Rochelle, I'm sure y'all have gone through, is going through a big renovation, just a lot of new buildings. And I just wanted us to feel like we were getting as much attention. And so that's where we were. And Jared mentioned he was going to step down. And I said, you know what? I've done as much as I can without being formally at the table.
Exactly,
So why
yeah,
not step
yeah.
up? Yeah, so that's it.
Let me ask you a question about the districts. Is it like Mount Vernon or is it like Yonkers?
No, they have districts.
They have you. How many districts do you
6
have?
districts and then the mayor.
Okay, and then people vote for that specific
Yes.
district if they live in it.
Exactly.
Okay, so
So-
that would be like Yonkers.
And unlike Yonkers and Mount Vernon, they have a city manager.
We have a city manager, yes.
Yes.
So the mayor sort of sets the policy, the manager sort of sets the way to pay it. Sort
Okay.
of, prioritizing
Right.
funding and things like that.
So he runs the day-to-day everything, like some of the mayor with the mayor.
Like
would do.
like a deputy mayor almost.
Well, no, because one of the council persons is
Is a deputy
the
mayor.
deputy
yeah.
mayor. Jared actually, I think, is currently.
I think a year ago he was.
Last year,
yes. Yep.
last year he was city councilman and deputy mayor. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so one of the council people, just like Mount Vernon is the council president.
Mm-hmm.
Would be, we don't have a deputy mayor, but if the mayor's not around, the
Right.
the council president would actually perform the mayor duties while he's out of town.
So
Okay.
the city manager presents the budget. The city manager oversees the commissioners, so parks, development, things
Oh,
like that.
okay.
So the mayor sort of sets the policy as to.
So
where
it's
we want
not a
funding to
strong
go.
form of
It's not a
government.
strong
Mayor,
strong- right,
yeah,
mayor.
It
Okay.
avoids situations like we have in Mount Vernon where people accuse a major campaign donor for giving money to the mayor, and then that campaign donor having him assign people as corporation counsel and commissioners of different positions.
Oh
You,
really?
you won't have that. That you can't do that with the mayor race. There, you can't.
Yeah.
The mayor
The
doesn't have that
influence
power.
would over right.
Right, the mayor doesn't have that influence and
Okay.
power, which is actually good. And people have often said that maybe we should go Mount Vernon. Maybe we should go to a city manager. A lot of people say, "Why don't we have a city manager? We may need one." So I'm sure there'll be something.
You
that
have
they
to
look into.
revise the charter for that.
Well,
right?
of course, everything has to be a charter
the
revision at this
charter.
point. Yeah.
Okay.
So you decided you was involved already. So you was like, "Yo, let me
Let me
step
just
up."
Step up. I'm a lawyer by trade. I practiced for 8 years,
Okay.
but I wanted to help make the profession more diverse,
Mm-hmm.
get more women, more people of color. So I actually stopped practicing law and worked at Columbia Law School on diversity and inclusion initiatives,
Okay.
and was promoted 3 years later to dean of students. And the beauty of the job is I work with ambitious, we have one of the most diverse populations of all law schools, and my kids are out there working and fighting for affordable housing to reduce police brutality. So I'm working with these kids who are brilliant and amazing, and I was like, I can do more. You know, I
Aw.
can take my skills, I can take what I've done and really step up. And again, Jared stepping down just really allowed me to do that.
Okay. AJ?
That's what's up. I'm sorry. I was expecting you to. So
It's okay.
another thing. So Lorraine here was the first Latina
Yeah.
councilwoman in Yonkers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she knows a little bit about being that.
And I was a
position.
community organizer, and as a
you.
community organizer, we built 2 parks.
Yes. Exactly.
We built 2 parks. We did cleaning. We did block parties. We
Yep.
brought all that exactly what you were
Yep.
describing. I said I've been there.
Yep. You
I've
know
done
exactly
that.
what I'm
Yes, I
talking
know
about.
exactly what
I
you're
love
talking
it.
about. Yes,
I
yes.
love it.
So District 3.
Yep.
Does that fall under? Does the Lincoln Avenue corridor fall under that?
Literally, and I
Okay.
live on right off the Lincoln Avenue corridor.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So I know there was a bunch of stuff redoing because I covered a few things, the redoing of the park or
Yeah.
the renovating of the park
Yep.
and some green space or some kind of garden or something that was supposed to be there.
So last summer we saw a big renovation. The park on that corner of Lincoln and Prince Street
Right.
was redone finally. There was funding and the energy was put towards bringing in the new equipment and just enhancing the space. And then there's a NBA Players Association donated money and they
Right.
repainted the courts, which are the courts there are used all the time. in the
Yeah,
summer.
yeah, yeah.
Now they look amazing and they have the logo and it's super artsy. And then just like under it is the community garden.
Right, right.
Run by Miss Linda Tarrant Reed. I think it's called Grow Lincoln Park.
Yes.
And it's funny. I was walking with her today to meet voters, and she's done a tremendous job. So they rent out plots and folks can come and garden, but she also opens it up to kids in the community. So she brings kids in the summer and throughout the spring and fall to show them just what planting, gardening, harvesting looks like. She said they
Yeah.
have folks from Brooklyn. They got folks from the city coming up
Wow.
to drive.
We had a
have
couple of
parking
community
lot.
gardens too. Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's thriving. And then just outside of it, they opened a native plant garden with a butterfly garden.
Wow.
And then a pop-up library
Wow.
just was honored 2 weeks ago, was just unveiled.
Oh, wow.
So it's on the come up for real.
That's
Right.
nice. That's nice. Doesn't it feel good to be part of that?
Amazing.
It's come a long way.
Yes.
My misspent youth was spent around there. I am a graduate of UCLA, the University of the corner of Lincoln Avenue.
Yes.
Yes.
I know it. I know it well.
Some of my
silly.
misspent youth was spent over there. Yeah. A lot of time I spent on
I
that
hear
area.
it. That's real talk. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. But it's really starting to look amazing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
this grant, this $10 million grant, $2 million and change is set to improve the crosswalks up and down Lincoln.
Okay.
So now you don't got to dart cars since you've hung out at the
Right,
corner
right.
to cross the street and catch the bus.
Right.
There will be better infrastructure, better crosswalks, better painting, traffic slowing, so that our
Okay.
kids can play. You
Okay.
know, right around the corner is one of our public housing units, and the kids are
Right,
running and
right,
darting cars. Kids are
right,
getting hit. It's
right.
crazy. So it's going to actually make us a neighborhood.
Right.
It's exciting.
That's beautiful. So I ask all candidates
Yeah.
this for people that are just hearing about you for the first time, seeing you for the first time, but want to know more about you. How do they reach you? Social media, website, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have voteyadira.com is the website. Yadira for New Rochelle City, Yadira for New Rock City Council is our Facebook and our Instagram. Absolutely.
Okay. So what would be your platform, one of your major platforms or things that you would like to do if you are elected?
Absolutely. So the main one of the things is none of the projects will break ground until 2020, and Jared will be off of council. And since I've been working with him since 2016 to even come up with the list and working with the partners, being at the seat on January 1st, 2020 will allow for just a seamless transition and making sure that the projects are funded, to make sure that City Council is prioritizing the projects to give us what we've worked hard for. We are going to have an opportunity to rezone our area to be a new area that will allow for economic revitalization. So
Okay.
not just like hourly jobs. We're really thinking of a way to build a career, work where you live and live where you work.
Absolutely.
It is a robust intersection. We're near the train. We have transit coming through up on Lincoln Avenue. So how do we make sure that the people in my neighborhood are trained to have careers? And how do we use some of the development money to think creatively around opening retail spaces,
Right.
training our community on how to be a business owner? It's not just giving them space, but giving them the capital and the education they need
Right.
to sustain the business,
Right,
right?
right,
The dollar
right.
stays in the neighborhood a little
Right.
longer.
Right. That's one of the things we preach. We need to recycle our dollars.
Right.
In our communities.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And the mixed radio is not broadcasting either. Because her people are trying to get a hold of it, and they texted me.
Okay.
All right, just giving you the heads up.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure what the problem is. I'm not sure what the problem is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
let's-
supporting our girls, because Jared did a tremendous job at My Brother's Keeper. It has a platform and funding, but our girls need just as much attention.
Yes.
The violence that happened in New Rochelle, it was two girls, right? And I think we
Mm-hmm.
default to the stereotype of it being our boys, but it was two girls that were fighting outside the school ground.
Yeah.
And when I talk to parents and even folks in law enforcement, they're saying our girls need just as much attention, love, support, mentorship, and guidance. So making sure that we elevate resources for when school's not in session, for weekends, for summers and things like that, to support our girls. I'm raising a girl, I'm certainly a woman, and so I can really appreciate the need for that as our girls are coming up.
So that's something that you're going to be working on
Yes,
when you become a city council?
Yeah, I've been talking to people, and look, if we have to create something new, great, but I've heard things like Girls Inc. is available. They just need, thinking about ways to bring that to the table. Kathy Davidson has Girls Court, which is another program about mentoring girls. So how do we partner or improve what already exists and elevate the standing so that the girls have the same program that the MBK does?
That'll be awesome,
Yeah.
yeah.
I worked with Jared in the beginning of the My Brother's Keeper.
Yeah.
I was very involved when they had to come. We met at the high school, I think, a few times, and they had to put everything together before the mayor did the accepting of
Yeah.
it. So I was very, they picked my brain.
That's
I went
awesome.
with Mount Vernon Councilman Wallace, who he invited,
Okay.
and I was with him. And then somehow they started asking me my opinion, so
That's
they
great.
started writing it down. So,
No, that's great.
But Jared credits us for helping out.
That's amazing. I mean, it takes the village, right?
Right.
Real talk. It takes the village, and showing our kids all the different things you can do as an adult and
Right.
be happy and successful. Why, the more
Right.
the merrier. So
Right.
that's
So
awesome.
we were trying to put a coalition. I think we need a minority, black and brown coalition of the different candidates. A lot of young candidates, like we were trying to do it with Councilman Wallace and Councilman Rice and Councilman Johnson at the time. Try to start some kind of
It's
coalition of young Dems that are, of color.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever got off the ground though.
It's something good to know because the
Yeah.
borders are like a mile apart, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's not like Mount Vernon and Yonkers are that far away. Why not?
Right.
Share the
Right.
resources.
Right. And the 7 goes through all 3.
Right.
It does.
The beeline.
Yeah, the 7. Yeah, 7
Right, it
starts
does.
in Yonkers,
Yep.
goes through Mount Vernon, and
Yep.
goes to New Rochelle.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a very long ride, though. I've never
I-
taken
real
it the
talk,
whole
yes.
time. I've never had to take it from. I go from Mount Vernon to New Rochelle,
Okay.
but I've never taken it from Yonkers
All
to
the
New
way.
Rochelle.
That
I
would
can
be long.
imagine what that ride is,
Yeah,
though.
lots of
Yeah.
stops.
So, anything that I didn't ask you that you want people to know about you?
Yeah. I
And-
love this
Wait.
community. Sorry.
Tell her about In the Mix. Go ahead.
I love New Rochelle so much. I love raising my children in the heart of the Lincoln Avenue corridor. We are a town full of so much history. The first desegregation case in the north happens right down the block from where I live.
Okay.
And it's a history that I share with my children. And I think some of the infrastructure problems we have are as a result of decisions made in 1949, to communities of color like they were doing across the country.
Right.
And I really want to bring my skills as an attorney, as someone who's already advocated for the neighborhood on the library board, as a part of the team that brought the grant, to be at the table and really just keep pushing hard so that we get the attention we deserve and honor the history that our community has.
Now, is the downtown business district that they're building up, is that in your district as
Some
well?
of it is.
Okay.
So, for example, on Garden Street, there's 2 new buildings coming up. One will be all affordable housing. One will be market rate. Those 2 are mine. The Stop
Okay.
and Shop that just closed under New Rock
Right.
is mine. It's
Okay.
split between me and Evar.
So New Rock is the New Rock City?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anderson Street in New Rock. Yes.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea where the districts are.
Yeah, I know.
I've been through all through.
It's all kind of weird.
Yeah. Any last? You got any questions?
No, I'm assuming you're a Democrat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a primary?
I do have a primary.
Oh, you do have
Yep.
a primary.
June 25th. I have
June
a primary.
25th.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. The opponent. Now, Lou. So just like I got a call from Gail about Tasha's race, I got a call from Sandy Barnaby about your race.
Ah.
So your opponent assumed that because I had did the article off the press release,
Yeah.
that I was automatically endorsing you and that I would not let him on the show. So told somebody else who's a friend of the show about that, and he found that not to be true.
It's
So-
funny when nobody ever goes to you. They always
Right,
go to a third person.
Well,
They're
they,
scared
well,
of
well,
you,
they're in
AJ.
they're in an organization with her. They're in some organization together, so that's why he reached out to her.
Oh, okay.
Because he knew me, but yeah. So I didn't even know that. That's how I found out that you had an opponent.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are you excited?
I'm thrilled. I mean, honestly, I'm out there almost every day after work. Today, I put in about 3 or 4 hours of knocking on doors. Yesterday, I put in 5.5 hours, and the energy is contagious. People are excited. I have a good reputation of working collaboratively, but getting things done and advocating. And so folks are just ready to see me, at the table. And it's good when you sort of see what you want aligned with what the doors you're knocking on. They also want the
Oh,
same thing,
yeah.
So making sure the projects come through, improving infrastructure, supporting our girls, economic revitalization. So it's amazing. It's exciting.
We're having issues. Yeah. New Rochelle, I have a lot of history in your district. I used to go to St. Catherine. I used to go to St.
Yeah,
Catherine.
like 4 blocks from my
Yeah,
house.
my father and stepmother. My stepbrother used to live in 33.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
UCLA. I got you.
Yeah. Okay, so any last words?
No, that's it. Thank you both so much.
Thank you
I
for
appreciate
coming.
The time and June 25th. Vote for Yadira.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you very much.
and good luck to you. I wish you the best. And I'm not supposed to say this, but I hope you win.
Thank you.
He's not listening,
Thank you.
so I can.
Thank you.